Hi, Glenda here. Today we're going to talk about money. You know, I've been just talking about money to some of my friends, and it's so amazing to me how so many people think that being poor, being in poverty is a spiritual Christian virtue. And believe me, I am not one to preach about religion, so I'm not. But I do want to say it is not a virtue to be poor, and poverty is actually a sin. And I just want to say that the Bible itself is a textbook on prosperity, for sure. I wrote a couple of notes down here, so I really wanted to tell you that, you know, when it comes to the Bible, it opens with a book that talks about this elaborate, gorgeous universe that was created for us. And then the last book talks about heaven in just these rich terms. And think about the people in the Bible. I wrote some of them down that are absolutely, positively rich, wealthy, beyond imaginable imagination, or they became wealthy. For example, Abraham, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, David, Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Elijah, Paul. I mean, it is about rich, wealthy, super wealthy people. Think about Jesus's life. And I again wrote some of these down. I thought it was interesting that even just when he was a baby, wise men brought him absolutely valuable, rich gifts he was presented with. He had a home with his parents, but he was welcome in all the homes of the rich people as well as the poor people. Both rich and poor welcomed him. Remember for that feast that he went to, that first miracle, he presented an absolutely rich gift of the finest wine. And then again, he used laws of prosperity to feed thousands of people in the desert. And then there's the parable of the prodigal son. There are laws, universal laws to prosperity. And one of them isn't being poor. He did say, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." But poor in spirit means being humble. It does not mean being poor in the universe. As a matter of fact, it is your divine right to have money, to be wealthy. Did you hear about this saying? I know you have. It is, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. We have this abundant universe. Just walk out and look at the stars at night. I mean, they're so numerous. And everything is here for us. And it is just, we need to use those principles. And our source is our creator, our source. That is our source of money. Money is nothing. Money is just paper. You see, you can't eat it. You can't build a house with it. You can't do anything with it. It is your source. You must contact your source and attract it through your thoughts and your words and your mental attitudes. And that is what brings you the money. I wanted to tell you, as I was talking to some of my friends, I realized that this thing about having money being spiritual and a Christian value, where did that come from? That came from the Middle Ages. Yes, when the people were so rich. Few people were very rich, and then they had to keep the masses poor. And so what did they teach them? That it is a Christian virtue to be pious, to be in poverty. And that is how they control them, is so that they can have their salvation by being that way. And of course, that lingers a little bit today. And if you think for any possible ability in your mind, if you have this concept, get rid of it. And get rid of the concept that people that have money must be unethical and not honest. And that is not true. They are ethical, decent human beings, most of them, and they use their wealth for good. And they understand it as a spiritual principle. They're not unprincipled. They're not insensitive. And you need to know that, because if you have that attitude, that that's exactly the kind of people they are, then you're stopping money from coming to you, because you have that attitude and money will not come to you. Another thing is, if you think that there isn't enough in the universe for someone else to have lots, and that's what's holding you back so that you can't get more. No, there is so much in the universe for every single one of us. We could all have everything we wanted if we just followed those universal principles. So I want to give you just a couple of those principles. And just the main one is that money comes to you based on the service and the good you give to others. That's really true. For example, when you have money, whatever you have, you want to give back. And in gratitude to your source, either pay 10% tithing or give 10% of it away. Benefit someone else. Just think about it in business. The more you benefit people, the more money you get, because the more you're serving them and helping them. So it is giving in order to receive. When you give payment to someone, and you give a credit card, or you send a check for payment, or you pay your bills, think about that payment and actually send love to those people. Put a little smiley face on it. Give willingly. Pay those bills willingly, and money will come to you, so you have more money to pay those bills. So just remember, money is a spiritual principle, yes, because it comes from your source, the source of all things, God, or whoever your source is. However, it is not a spiritual principle to be poor and be in poverty. No, we know better now. It's not the Middle Ages, and there are laws, universal laws, to get prosperity. And giving is the first one, and recognizing where it comes from.